What a club I am. Hey everyone, welcome back to Can't Set a Corner. We're out today on Sunday for an absolutely beautiful day for this week's long run. So at the moment I'm doing sort of 3 to 4 runs a week. And to be fair, not a huge amount of that is easy running, other than sort of recovery stuff in between intervals. And then on the Sunday, obviously I normally have my long run, which is what I'm doing today. So I thought while out on the long run, in the beautiful weather, just going to have a little look around. There we go. We're in a nice quiet place at the moment. I've got to dodge some puddles though. I think it would be a good opportunity to sort of a bit of a recap over the week and just how we're going. So I'll just walk this little section while we get through these ponds. So yeah, so I mean we've had again, it's been another pretty busy week. It's kind of how I like it. It's been quite heavily focused around sort of strength and tempo work. So, burp. So that's kind of came in the form of Ben has a workout that he likes, which I've done a couple of times on my plan now, called the 30-20-10. So Wednesday I did the 30-20-10 workout, which is it's kind of like a bit of a pyramid interval session, where it's 30 seconds at sort of like, I think it kind of works out 30 seconds at a 10k pace, 20 seconds at your 5k pace, and then 10 seconds as hard as you can, and then that's kind of the end of that little peak, and you take about a minute sort of jog walk recovery or a float if you're feeling fit. And yeah, and then basically we repeat that. I did that, like 5 sets of that is one set. I did 3 sets of that at the track, and pretty nice. Actually, it was a nice day, and the track was absolutely rammed with other runners, so it was actually quite nice to see other people out training and just enjoying this little bit of spring sunshine that we've hit at the moment. On Tuesday I did splat. So secondly, on Tuesday I did a longer tempo run, which again went really well. I was kind of just basically, I sort of put in a pace that I felt I'd be very comfortable holding, and I just kept an eye on the heart rate to make sure I was kind of keeping it above 150, somewhere around 160 if I could. But yeah, if I felt like that was getting a bit too much sort of difficult, too much difficulty, I'd maybe drop it back down to like 155 for a bit, and then give myself a minute or two there, and then push back on and just hold it at 160 or as hard as I could. But that worked out. I'll show that up here. I was really impressed with the result on that for myself. And that was about 7.5 miles, about 7 minutes mile, which getting down towards 3-hour marathon pace for me, that which I think's what, 6:52 a mile, 6:59 a mile or something like that. That's the longest run I've done at that pace. So shows that the endurance at pace is picking up, and it bodes well for trying to push under 3 hours for the marathon at the end of the year after the Ironman. So that'll be good to keep up those sessions. And then beyond that, I've had 3 bike sessions this week. 1 just a chilled one, and 2 harder threshold efforts, and they were really difficult both times. So yeah, the threshold sessions on the bike are the back end of the FTP builder that I've been doing over lockdown, and the power doesn't feel too bad. I'm going up to about 240 watts on the for about anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes. There was prescribed some 12-minute ones, but for the 12 minutes I couldn't hold that at 230, so I had to drop it back down to about 200 for them. But it's starting to feel easier for that sort of effort. But yeah, I mean, considering probably 6 months ago I was struggling to hold sort of 160 watts for the 5-minute intervals after my first FTP test, to be sitting kind of complaining that I haven't held 235 watts for 12 minutes, it's hard to be too downhearted about it. I did message Ben after the first one, kind of like a bit bummed out about it, but really he just said there's a lot of different factors that you kind of need to take into account that affect your performance on a day-to-day basis. So I've been given a really good tip, and there's an app I want to talk about. So when I find the slightly quieter stretch, I'll flick the camera back on, and yeah, well, I'll have a chat about this heart rate variability app. Let's go. The heart rate's just starting to climb, so I figured I might as well take a quick breather and go back to what I was talking about earlier on, which was heart rate variation, or HRV. So after Ben had spoke about sort of the different factors affecting your performance on any one day, he recommended that I got an app called HRV for Training. But I decided, actually I didn't get that specific one. I got one called Elite HRV, which is free, whereas the HRV for Training one's about a tenner, I think, on the App Store. Just the basic app, which I'll can't show the logo if you want to go and look for it yourself here. The basic app basically attaches to a Bluetooth heart rate monitor, which I think if you've got an Android device and it works on that, I'm not sure. But if it does, it should work with an Amp Plus one if your phone's compatible. But long story short, I needed a Bluetooth heart rate monitor. Luckily I did have one. I had a Polar H9, which works just fine. So on the back of being recommended to sort of start tracking my HRV, I decided to do a little bit of research into what it is and how it can be used as an indicator. So basically when you take your heart rate, like on my watch here, it displays my average heart rate, so it's the average amount of beats per minute, obviously. Now the variation between those beats is controlled by your nervous system. So you might have, say for argument's sake, you had a heart rate of 60 beats a minute, just nice and easy, 1 a second. Depending on what your variability rate is, it might not be 1 a second. It might be 1 for like 1.5 seconds, and then you'll get 2 in the next 2.5 seconds, and it can skip around like that. Now, the lower the variability is, from what I've learned, it basically means that one part of your nervous system, which tends to be what's called the sympathetic part, is controlling your heart rate. Now that's kind of like your flight or fight response as well. So it tends to mean you're stressed. Now that could be stress from all sorts of different factors, but for my case, I'm going to assume it's training. If it's higher, it means there's multiple parts of your nervous system contributing to your heart rate, which means that you're not stressed to the point where the kind of more basic parts need to take control. Now the idea is, after you've built up a little bit of a picture of what your HRV normally is and how different training sessions affect it, Ben mentioned there's a lot of studies being done that says if you take that into account and kind of be willing to be flexible with your hard days and your easy days, you can kind of benefit a lot more from your training by, for instance, if you have a really hard tempo day coming up and your HRV's in the gutter and you've got an easy day the following day, maybe take your easy day that day, check it again the following day. If it's higher than normal, probably means you're a bit more recovered, and then you can attack your tempo session, and then you're going to get more out of it. So I'm going to start trying to follow that a little bit, but like I say, it's going to take time to build up that picture before I can read too much into it. And I'll link to the article that I read regarding HRV and how you can use it for training. So if anybody's interested in it, that is in the description below. The quick hike to stop done. Bag of jelly tots, half a bottle of Lucozade, and on my way. So it's absolutely stunning today. This is class. So a couple of big hills I'm going to hit. So the first one is I'm going to follow off down this road here. So we can go down the bank and up. Down into Redworth, up the big bank at the top, into Shildon, and then we go down Dale Road, which we rode up on the bike the other day, and we run up Spout Lane, which I say run, it'll probably be more of a jog walk plod, because it's about 9 or 10% at its steepest, and that'll be tough. But from there it's pretty much downhill all the way back, all the way through Midridge and back to Aycliffe. So yeah, I think all the way around it should be around about, I don't know, I guess maybe 14-15 mile, a little bit longer than it should be for today, but I did want to have a go at these hills, so this is the only loop that I can kind of fit them all in with. So well, we'll see how we do, and yeah, end of the day, if I walk the last mile or two, I don't really care. So let's see how we go. Let's go. Well, pleasantly surprised by the steep hill. I'll check on Strava when I get back, but heart rate seemed to be getting up to about 170, but we kept at a decent pace all the way up it. Felt good and strong in the legs, and now we've got an easy maybe 3 mile back home.
A few moments later.
Well, as you can see by the state of it, we've took a dive into the mud. I've really hurt my toe. Managed to boot a tree stump that was sticking across the path. It went absolutely flying. Luckily I didn't land too hard, but my big toe feels really sore. So this will be getting taken super steady on the way back now. So I wasn't far away with the estimate on the route actually, so I've done just about 15 mile, almost, wait, a little bit over 14 mile. Average pace is just under 8 minutes a mile, which is kind of where I want it to be for today. So it's I wouldn't call it an easy run, but certainly not with because the hills were quite steep that I put in there, but and the pace is pretty good as well for a longer run. So I think it's probably something like I don't know what you'd call it, probably a nothing run. It's just a nice strong run. So I would imagine, I think when Ben put it in the plan, he was probably expecting me to do something closer at 9 minute miles and just really chill, really low heart rate, but I think it's averaged about 151, which is like right at the top of my zone too, so I can't really complain too much. But yeah, I mean, a day like today, it was just, yeah, it was just really nice to get out. It's really nice to enjoy a bit of the sun and just enjoy the training. But basically, yeah, if you want any more information about sort of HRV and sort of like how it affects your training, I'll drop a link below and you can have a little look at that. And obviously there's I'll try and link to the app as well. But obviously if you haven't got, I have it for iPhone, so if you haven't got an iPhone it might not work, I don't know. I'd like to think there's an Android equivalent, but maybe not. But yeah, I mean, if you've made it this far, please check out the fundraising link in the description below for Brain Tumor Research, and yeah, maybe give us a thumbs up and see if we can get the video up there and watched, and yeah, introduce a few more people into HRV. We'll see how it affects us over long term, and we'll revisit in a couple of weeks and see what sort of benefits we've had out of it. So until then, I'm gonna get these fluids down my neck. I'm gonna go and wash some of this mud off us and get changed. So I'll catch you again next time, and yeah, hopefully more sun. See you soon.